Well, we probably all know someone whose life changed in an instant due to a stroke. Did you know there is some groundbreaking technology right here in Connecticut that can screen a person and determine the risk for having one?
Yeah, and it's true. It was actually developed by an ophthalmologist in Mystic. Our own Melissa Cole learned all about it, and she met a man who is still here today because of this. Take a look.
I was having breakfast with my wife, and she looked at me across the table. She thought, like, why is he having difficulty swallowing?
David Douglas of Westerly, Rhode Island, remembered his ophthalmologist, Dr. Francis Falk of Mystic, talking about new stroke detecting technology. So he and his wife got in the car and drove straight to the office.
David presented to our office with symptoms of a TIA, and we screened him, and we discovered that he had almost no blood flow going into his right eye. And to make a long story short, David had formed a clot in his internal carotid artery that we confirmed with a CTA study, and he subsequently underwent surgery. As a result of the FMAT1 technology, he did not develop a major stroke, and we saved his life.
It's all thanks to this machine, Dr. Falk's own invention.
This is the Falk Medical Multifunction Device.
Dr. Falk created this device initially to assess if a person has glaucoma, which left untreated can cause blindness.
So we can use the tomography function of the device to determine a person's risk of developing glaucoma, or if they have glaucoma, whether or not their disease is being appropriately managed.
He realized he could also determine a person's risk for stroke by measuring the blood flow going into the eye.
If the blood flow is impaired going in the eye, that's a sign of disease in the internal carotid artery. Disease in the internal carotid artery, either narrowing or a clot, is the primary cause of stroke. And what we're going to do now is we're going to demonstrate how the FMAT1 optodynamometry test is done.
David is here today for a follow-up test to see how well his vascular system is working. After blood pressure is recorded, numbing drops go into both eyes. Each patient gets a new sterile prism for each test performed.
Okay, go ahead and put your chin right in there.
And the patient is asked just to look straight ahead and not blink for 3 seconds.
A quick scan and the information is instantly imported into the computer. Then the test is repeated on the other eye.
He's done very well, so we can see the pulsation. This is the systolic pulse of his central retinal artery. That is when his heart is beating. That's the blood flow flowing in through the ophthalmic artery into the eye. In David's original test that we did on his right eye, there were no pulsations. The line was flat. And that's how we knew there was not any blood flow going into his eye.
Next, Dr. Falk scans for signs of glaucoma. David passes this one with flying colors too.
Glaucoma fundamentally is a plumbing problem. The internal drain of the eye is not functioning correctly. So with this test, we've just confirmed that his outflow system is functioning normally in his left eye. So there's no need for intervention, and his risk of determining glaucoma does not exist.
If a patient doesn't pass this test, Dr. Falk may suggest prescription eye drops or even laser treatments to stop the problem from getting worse. These valuable tests are now being used nationwide.
There are 65 units across the country at this time, and we don't advertise the unit. It's all based upon word of mouth. And we're now getting inquiries from across the pond about people that want the technology overseas.
And it's made and developed right here in Mystic?
It's made and developed right here in Mystic.
In fact, the device is manufactured right upstairs, with most of the parts coming from New England. FDA approved and certified for worldwide use. And just how many lives has Dr. Falk saved with this new invention?
In my own practice, I've lost track. And it's not uncommon for us to hear a new user call on the phone and say, I found a person today with undiagnosed carotid vascular disease, and we treated that person and we have saved their lives.
David is thankful to be one of them. If he didn't show up at Dr. Falk's office that day, he might not be here to show his gratitude in person.
You saved my life. And I'm going to get a little emotional about it. And I hope everybody else has the same test. They could do the same for them.
That's the goal, Dave, to change the practice of medicine so people don't go blind and don't have strokes.
Definitely.
We're going to do it.
Incredible.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. At this time, the screening is available for people with risk factors for stroke and glaucoma. Dr. Falk is accepting patients.
Now, if you're not local to Mystic, you can actually call his office. The staff will gladly refer you to someone in your area with one of the Falk medical devices. Many eye doctors in Connecticut do have this technology.
For more information, visit falkeyecenterllc.com or call 860-572-2020. Great story. Thank you, Melissa, for bringing that to us.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, thank you for doing a wonderful job yesterday with the charity event.
Oh, and for you golfing.
Accolades to the lady.
Yeah, you know, it was wonderful. It was a group effort. Thank you to everyone who came out for the Denise DeCenzo Foundation Golf Tournament. Eyewitness News at 4 is next.